Hello, wishing you a good day. After the age of 70, many people realize they are entering an entirely new stage of life, a world that is slower, quieter, and sometimes more solitary. The children have grown up and started families of their own. Close friends gradually fade away. Life no longer follows the busy schedules it once did. And then one afternoon, as you quietly sit and watch the sunlight pour through the window, a feeling creeps into your heart. That feeling is loneliness. Loneliness is not always present. It can appear very gently, like when you prepare a meal for just one person, or when you want to share a funny story but have no one to tell it to. And even though modern society has developed and support services for seniors are quite adequate, there is one thing no system can replace: the genuine connection that comes from the human heart. But you know what? Loneliness is not the end. It can be the beginning. A reminder that your heart still feels, that you still need to be loved, and that you still have the ability to give love. And sometimes just a few small changes in daily habits can open unexpected doors. A vase of flowers you arrange in the morning, a little bird you feed on the balcony, a gentle greeting to a neighbor during your afternoon walk. All are gentle remedies against the loneliness that quietly grows with age. In today's content, we will explore 5 simple yet deeply meaningful habits that have been proven to ease loneliness, awaken a sense of connection, and most importantly, bring you a new, lasting, and natural joy for life. These are not grand or difficult things to do, but actions you can begin today, gently, easily, and full of healing power. Stay with us until the end, because it might only take one of these 5 habits to change how you feel and bring you closer to yourself and to the meaningful life you truly deserve to enjoy. Have you ever felt like a day passed without really knowing what you accomplished? As if time quietly slipped by while you were caught in a cycle of nameless activities? That feeling is strangely familiar, as if you're merely existing, not truly living. In moments like these, creating a simple daily routine holds a unique power. It's not just a way to organize your time, it's an anchor that brings stability and a renewed sense of purpose to your life. Do you remember the last time you woke up on time, had a proper breakfast, or took a slow walk around the neighborhood? These seemingly small actions can completely transform how you feel about your day. In truth, humans need a stable rhythm to life, especially when we're no longer driven by work schedules or daily obligations. Without a clear structure, the mind can drift, leaving you feeling unmoored and vaguely unsettled. The beautiful thing is, you can reclaim that sense of control and intention with just a few simple actions. You don't need a grand plan or a long-term commitment. All it takes is repeating a few small tasks each day, as if you are gently reminding your mind, I am living consciously. Try creating a morning trio for yourself. Wake up at the same time each day, drink a glass of warm water in stillness, and write down one thing you're grateful for or looking forward to. These gentle rituals, when done consistently, begin to build a solid inner framework. It could start with a 10-minute walk, reading a few pages from a book, or simply opening the window and breathing in the fresh morning air. What matters is not the scale, but the regularity. Each small act is a step toward a more intentional life. Because when you choose how to begin your morning, you are also choosing how to shape your emotions, your mindset, and your energy for the rest of the day. A structured morning lays the foundation for a peaceful day, and from that foundation, you may find yourself more open to life, even to the smallest, most meaningful moments waiting for you in the next part of this journey. There are days when just a good morning from a familiar store clerk or the smiling glance of a neighbor is enough to remind us that we are not alone. In a world that is increasingly busy and digitalized, the feeling of being acknowledged, even through brief interactions, is incredibly precious. We don't always need deep conversations or close relationships. Sometimes simply being noticed by someone is enough to bring a sense of ease to the heart. The feeling of connection doesn't have to come from close friends or nearby family. It can arise from fleeting exchanges, a quick chat with the mail carrier, a few words while buying coffee, or simply a nod to someone during a walk. These seemingly small moments are the threads that weave a sense of belonging, a basic psychological need that is often overlooked. When we lack social interactions, even brief ones, we easily slip into feeling invisible. In contrast, each time we are seen or heard, even for just a moment, it affirms our self-worth. People who maintain the habit of short daily interactions often feel more positive, less isolated, and stay mentally sharper for longer. This isn't by chance. It's the result of maintaining just enough social contact, unforced but deeply human. And the wonderful thing is, you have the power to create these small connections every day. You don't have to force yourself to become extroverted, nor step too far out of your comfort zone. Start with a smile, a nod, a good morning to someone you often see on your route. Or if you're standing in line at the checkout, try making small talk with the person next to you. Not for any particular reason, just to connect. Over time, these small acts become habits, and those habits help you feel less cut off from the world. Instead, you begin to feel like part of a bigger picture, where every person, even just a small dot in the painting, has a role and a rightful place. Because in a world that's slowly losing real connection, you can be the one to bring it back, to yourself and to those around you. Something remarkable happens when you take the initiative to help others. You not only make the world around you a better place, but you also make yourself feel more valuable and more deeply alive. Helping others doesn't have to be a grand gesture or take up much time. In fact, sometimes a very small act, like writing a handwritten note, sending a message to check in, or carrying a neighbor's groceries, is enough to quietly warm your heart. During times when loneliness or uncertainty can quietly creep in, offering even a small act of kindness becomes a simple yet powerful way to break free from those feelings. Because when you do something for someone else, you break the cycle of self-focus, often filled with worry, sadness, or the thought that, I no longer matter. You become someone who is needed, even just for a moment. And that is powerful enough to remind you that you still contribute, that you are still living with purpose. You don't have to wait until you have more free time or ideal conditions. You can begin today with the simplest of gestures. Think of an old friend, a neighbor you haven't seen in a while, or someone you know who's going through a difficult time. Write them a card or send an email with a few sincere lines. If you enjoy cooking, prepare an extra portion and share it with someone living alone. These things don't need to be perfect. They just need to come from the heart. When you live with the intention of helping others, you create a ripple effect of positive connections. What's surprising is that the more you give, whether it's time, attention, or a kind gesture, the more full and complete you begin to feel. Just like sunlight never runs out by shining on someone else, your kindness never diminishes when shared. It comes back to you in a smile, a thank you, or simply a quiet warmth in your heart. Start with one small act each day, and you'll find that you're not only brightening someone else's day, but also gently warming your own inner world. And sometimes it is the smallest things that hold the deepest healing power. In a world where connection is made easier through technology, but true bonding is becoming increasingly rare, finding a space to belong has become more important than ever. Not everyone needs large social circles or deep relationships right away. Sometimes, simply having a place you can go regularly, sit down, listen, and be seen is enough to bring calm to the soul. Have you ever stepped into a quiet library where some are reading, others are taking notes, but all share the same peaceful atmosphere? Or joined a walking group where no one needs to say much, yet just walking together creates a sense of closeness? These kinds of spaces hold a quiet power to heal, because they don't demand that you be a great conversationalist or feel the need to share your story, yet they warmly welcome your presence. Many adults and seniors gradually withdraw from social activities, feeling pressured, out of place, or simply afraid of being a burden. That's why gentle community spaces, like libraries, book clubs, meditation groups, art classes, or walking clubs, can become ideal sanctuaries. They're not just destinations, they're anchors, places where your mere presence means you are part of something. The good news is, you don't need to fit in perfectly to begin. You just need to show up. Sign up for a small local group, explore nearby community events, or simply visit your local library a few times a week. Just being there, without expectation or pressure, is already planting the seeds of connection for yourself. Little by little, your presence will be noticed. You'll start recognizing a few familiar faces, exchanging smiles the next time you see them, and then one day you'll realize you no longer feel as lost as before. Life doesn't have to be loud to feel connected. Sometimes all it takes is a quiet corner where someone is waiting to sit with you, and that alone can soothe the heart. When you feel like you have a place where you belong, the world becomes a much friendlier place. There is a special kind of peace that comes from waking up each morning, opening the curtains, and seeing a potted plant you watered yesterday sprouting a few new leaves. Or from scattering seeds and watching the birds return, chirping excitedly as if they were waiting for you. These small things can calm the soul, not loud, not rushed, but full of life. Caring for a living being, whether it's a houseplant, a pet, or even just paying attention to the feeding habits of wild birds near your home, can bring you a sense of connection and purpose each day. It gives you something beyond yourself to care for, another life that silently but responds to your presence. When people take time to care for something living, they are also nurturing themselves. It's not just about watering, feeding, or cleaning. It's a practice in patience, compassion, and the quiet reassurance that I still matter. For those living alone or feeling a sense of emptiness, this becomes a precious emotional remedy. Because you are not only giving, you are also receiving. And the beautiful thing is, you can start anywhere, with anything. If you've never planted before, try a small cactus that's easy to care for. If you enjoy animals, consider adopting a cat or dog from a shelter. If your living situation doesn't allow pets, place a bird feeder on your balcony and simply observe the life it attracts. Whatever you choose, as long as you care with sincerity, you'll find yourself feeling more alive with each passing day. Because when you care for another living being, you pull yourself out of a state of quiet stagnation. You create rhythm, anticipation, and joy, things that are essential to maintaining a healthy spirit. And then, that simple act becomes a bright spot in your day. A growing plant, a pet waiting for you to come home, or the song of birds outside your window. All are proof that you are living, connecting, and making a difference. Even if it's small, it is profoundly meaningful. Life doesn't always require big breakthroughs or dramatic changes. Sometimes what truly makes a difference are the small habits repeated each day: waking up on time, offering a friendly greeting, performing a kind gesture, having a place to go, or caring for a living being. These simple acts not only give structure to your days, but also help you feel truly alive, fully, meaningfully, and connected to the world around you. You don't need to be perfect, nor do you always have to be strong. As long as you still wish to connect, to feel like you are part of something, then your journey still holds many gentle paths opening from the simplest things. And perhaps you'll come to see that the habits you start today may become your greatest source of comfort in the days to come. Begin with an orderly morning, a kind word, a small act, a quiet gathering, or a potted plant on your porch. Each of these is whispering to you, you are still creating meaning every single day. Wishing you a joyful day ahead. See you in the next video.